I took a night shift watching security cameras. Then one camera started watching me. I accepted a high-paying overnight security job inside an abandoned office building. Everything was normal until camera 12 lost signal and came back showing something that shouldn't have been there. I took the job because I needed money fast. The pay honestly didn't make sense for how simple the work sounded. Overnight security monitoring. Sit in a locked room from midnight until sunrise, watch camera feeds, and report anything unusual. That was it. No patrols. No interaction with people. No experience required. Just cameras. The building itself used to belong to some corporate company that went bankrupt years ago. 12 empty floors in the middle of downtown, completely abandoned except for a small maintenance crew that occasionally checked the electricity and elevators. The manager barely interviewed me. He asked if I was comfortable working alone, slid a keycard across the table, and told me to arrive before midnight. Right before I left, though, he said something strange. Very casually. Like he'd repeated it too many times before. If camera 12 loses signal, don't stare at it when it comes back. I laughed a little because I thought he was trying to mess with the new guy. He didn't laugh back. That should have been enough for me to leave. But I needed the money. So the next night, I showed up. The security office was buried deep in the basement underneath the parking structure. No windows. No natural light. Just old fluorescent ceiling panels humming constantly above rows of dusty monitors. The room smelled like warm electronics and stale air. At first it honestly felt relaxing. Most of the camera feeds showed nothing except empty hallways and abandoned office spaces covered in dust. Rows of cubicles. Conference rooms with overturned chairs. Elevators opening onto dark floors nobody used anymore. The kind of silence that slowly starts feeling wrong after a few hours. Around 2:40 a.m., I started fighting sleep. I remember leaning back in the chair, staring blankly at camera 8 showing the empty lobby, when suddenly one of the screens went black. Camera 12. No warning. No glitching. No static. The image just disappeared instantly. I sat up immediately because I remembered what the manager said. Don't stare at it when it comes back. At first, I actually tried listening. I looked away from the dark monitor and focused on the others instead. Camera 3 showed an empty hallway on floor 2. Camera 15 showed the underground parking garage. Nothing moved anywhere in the building. Then the speakers crackled softly. At first I thought it was radio interference. But then I realized it sounded more like breathing. Slow breathing directly into a microphone. Without thinking, I looked back toward camera 12. The screen had returned. It showed a hallway on the 9th floor. Dark. Silent. Completely empty. At least that's what I thought for the first few seconds. Then I noticed something standing at the far end of the corridor. A figure. Tall enough that its head nearly touched the ceiling lights. It wasn't moving. Just standing there at the very edge of visibility, facing directly toward the camera like it had been waiting for someone to look back at it. The image quality was terrible, but something about its proportions made my stomach tighten immediately. Its arms looked too long. Its posture looked unnatural somehow. Like it was pretending to stand like a person. The speakers crackled again. Then a whisper came through clearly. He looked. The monitor glitched violently. The figure disappeared. I sat there frozen, staring at the empty hallway while my brain tried desperately to rationalize what I'd seen. Maybe someone broke into the building. Maybe exhaustion was making me paranoid. That explanation lasted less than a minute. Because camera 12 changed again. The hallway was still empty. But now the angle looked different. Closer. Like the camera itself had physically moved several feet forward. That wasn't possible. These cameras were old fixed-position security cameras mounted directly into the ceilings. There were no motion controls installed anywhere in the system. I checked twice just to be sure. Then the breathing returned. Louder this time. Wet. Uneven. Like someone smiling too close to a microphone. I muted the audio immediately. And that's when I noticed the feed had changed again. Camera 12 was no longer showing the 9th floor. Now it showed the basement hallway. The hallway directly outside the security room I was sitting in. Every muscle in my body locked up. I stared at the monitor. The hallway outside was empty. Then the image flickered for half a second. And during that single distorted frame, something appeared beside the camera. A pale face. Blurred. Smiling. Gone instantly. I turned slowly toward the real security room door behind me. Nothing. Silence. When I looked back at the monitor, the figure was standing closer now. Halfway down the hallway. Completely still. Watching the door. Watching me. I grabbed the radio with shaking hands and tried contacting maintenance. Only static answered. Then 3 knocks hit the security room door. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. I nearly dropped the radio. The monitor still showed an empty hallway outside. Nobody there. But the knocks came again. 3 more. This time louder. The fluorescent lights above me flickered violently, throwing quick flashes of darkness across the room. Several monitors distorted into static all at once before suddenly shutting off completely. Every screen died except camera 12. Only that one remained active. And what it showed made my blood go cold instantly. The security room. My security room. I was looking directly at myself sitting in the chair. The angle came from the upper corner of the room behind me. But there wasn't a camera in this room. I looked up anyway. Nothing. No camera. No wires. Nothing mounted anywhere. On the monitor, the version of me sitting at the desk slowly turned its head toward the camera. I wasn't moving. But it was. Then it smiled. The lights shut off instantly. Complete darkness swallowed the room. At the same moment, the speakers exploded with deafening static that sounded almost like screaming buried underneath layers of interference. Then my own voice whispered through the darkness. "Don't turn around." I froze. Behind my chair. I heard breathing. Real breathing. Not from the speakers this time. Not from the monitors. Something was physically standing behind me in the dark. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. Close enough that I could hear moisture in its throat. My entire body locked up. I couldn't even force myself to blink. Then my voice whispered again. "It knows you can see it now." The breathing moved closer. Right beside my ear. Then suddenly, every monitor turned back on at once. The lights returned. The room looked normal again. All the camera feeds showed empty hallways and silent office floors exactly like before. Nothing unusual. And the breathing behind me had stopped completely. I turned around slowly. The room was empty. That was enough for me. I grabbed my jacket, my keys, everything I could carry, and ran out of the security office without even shutting the door behind me. I didn't care about the paycheck anymore. I just wanted out of the building. The elevator wouldn't respond no matter how many times I pressed the button, so I took the emergency stairwell instead. The concrete stairwell echoed with every step I took. Floor 2. Floor 3. Floor 4. Then somewhere above me, I heard footsteps. Slow footsteps descending the stairs. Heavy. Dragging slightly between steps. I stopped moving immediately. The footsteps stopped too. Silence filled the stairwell for several long seconds. Then the building speakers crackled overhead. A robotic voice echoed through the concrete walls. "Employee detected on floor 6. Another voice answered a second later. My voice. Watching. And suddenly the footsteps above me broke into a sprint. Violent pounding footsteps thundered down the stairs toward me impossibly fast. I ran. I don't even remember reaching the lobby. I just remember crashing through the front exit doors into the freezing night air outside. The moment I reached the street, everything stopped. No footsteps. No voices. No static. Just silence. I never went back. A week later I tried looking up the company online. It was gone. No website. No records.